Preseason week 1 is officially in the books, and that means we got to talk about some cut candidates. 5 players on either side of the football that I believe are in danger of losing a roster spot based off of their performance, their spot on the depth chart, and the overall trajectory towards my ultimate conclusion. Welcome in Broncos country to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose, and yes, we are going to talk about some cut candidates before the Cardinals game. And let me just ask you, let me get it out of the way. Quick, to the point, nice and easy. Name a player you think should get cut right now. I want to hear it. I'm not going to give you my answers because I've got those 5 players that I'm going to talk about here in just a second. Either way, you let me know right off the bat in the comment section down below. First player, Clay Webb. I'm not going to lie. It was not good. It was a bad performance. He looked lost out there at times. His run blocking was terrible. His PFF grade was awful. It was in the low 30s, and he got dominated by that 49ers defensive line, which was comprised of 4th and 5th stringers. And he did better in pass protection, but he got bailed out multiple times by his other offensive linemen, meaning an offensive lineman would end up picking up a chip block and making sure that Stidham and Ellinger were a little bit more comfortable inside the pocket. Outside of that, it was an awful game. Like, period, point blank. And I feel bad saying that because we talked a lot about Clay Webb being one of the UDFAs that could end up making this team. But based off of what I saw, he's not ready. And this Broncos offensive line depth chart, I'm not going to lie to you. There's plenty of other players that played way better than he did. So unless he absolutely goes out and kills it, like, my message to him is you really have to ball out to make this team, my man. That's just the truth. And again, anything's possible. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. It's not definitive, right? It's not etched in stone. But it was not pretty. In fact, that was one of the major takeaways after watching the film. I was like, oh, Clay Webb does not look good. So I'll ask you this question. Will Clay Webb make the 53-man roster? Yes or no? As of right now, I'm saying no. But if you believe differently than me, and that's fine, at least defend your answer down in the comment section down below. Clay Webb, in my opinion, not going to make it. Another player that's in danger of getting cut was, of course, wide receiver / special teams player Courtney Jackson. I feel like there were a couple moments where I felt like, okay, he showed a little bit here, a little bit there. But for the most part, it wasn't that great. His PFF grade, which again is not the Holy Bible, but it does give you an indication of how a player performed, his was also really bad, in the mid to upper 40s. Here's another thing you need to know. There's a lot of special teamers ahead of him. Marvin Mims, Jaleel McLaughlin, who got in on some kickoff returns. Tyler Bidet and even Michael Bandy are listed ahead of him on the Broncos depth chart right now in terms of special teams. That's not even mentioning the wide receivers. So Courtney Jackson, unfortunately, I just don't see him making this team. I feel like there's plenty of talent that the Broncos already have put in place that just kind of proves that he's, not good enough. And that's okay. Also feels like an easy choice. So this is probably my biggest chalk pick out of everything, right? Again, I take no pleasure in saying all of this, right? Like, this is my job. I've got to do this. So if you guys think that I have a personal vendetta against these players, I don't. It's just how I see things happening. And that's just my take on Courtney Jackson. I don't think he's good enough to make the team. Join us for this Cardinals watch party that we've got coming up here on Saturday. Late kickoff, 8:30 p.m., which means we're going live at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to hang out with me and the rest of Broncos country, hit subscribe, click that bell notification, and join us on Saturday. My third cut candidate, a player that actually scored, Caden Prieskorn. Look, he had a nice play. Touchdown catch, 1 reception for 7 yards. I'm glad he found the end zone. It was a cool moment for the young man. But make no mistake about it, there's plenty of other tight ends that are way better than he is, period. I mean, Evan Ingram being your number 1, Troutman, Kroll, the list goes on. I just don't think he's going to make this spot. Nate Adkins as well. So the one name that I'm going to throw out on there that you guys didn't see a lot of against the 49ers was Caleb Lohner. I still believe in Caleb Lohner's freakish athleticism. He played 18 snaps against the 49ers, didn't do much, but I'm still not ready to give up on Caleb Lohner quite yet. I think you can't teach 6'7". You can't teach the ability to jump through the gym. You can teach football vernacular. You can teach football IQ. You can scheme him. You can help him understand how to get better at this football game. So this one, though, I will say is kind of fluid for me. Because if Caleb Lohner doesn't do anything this preseason, you might have to take another look at it. And if Caden Prescorn goes out and actually shows he's, kind of okay and having a better preseason than Caleb Lohner, then sure, I can flip-flop these two. But as of right now, this moment, at the time of this recording, I'm not quite ready yet to give up on Caleb Lohner. So I have Caden Prescorn getting cut. Sam Franklin Jr. is my next guy. This was a free agent that the Broncos signed a couple of months back, if I'm remembering correctly. It was right when I started producing for the Broncos, believe it or not. He's a free safety from Carolina. He had one tackle against the 49ers, but for the most part, just kind of floated, didn't really do much. And with how good of a bunch of other players looked, a.k.a. J.L. Skinner, I don't think he's going to have a spot. I think there's a lot of really good talent in this Broncos secondary, not only at corner, but at safety alike. And there is just way too much depth on this defense to keep everyone. We can all agree on that. Someone has to separate themselves. And some float back into the ether. And Sam Franklin Jr. is one of those players that just floated back into the ether. So if I look at the likes of a guy like J.L. Skinner, I mean, forget about the starters. Brandon Jones and Talanoa Hufanga are easily your 1 and 2. And hell, even P.J. Locke has locked up that third one. Devin Key, believe it or not, played well. And he's higher on the depth chart. J.L. Skinner got involved. There's plenty of players that are making their names known in this preseason. Franklin wasn't one of them. So, again, like I said, I'm going to go back to that original take that I had. There's just way too much depth. And you can't keep everyone. So someone has to separate. Others just float back. Maybe he has a couple better games, and maybe he establishes himself with a little bit more competition. But right now, Sam Franklin Jr., you're on the outskis, my friend. Last but not least, Kyrese Rowan. I had to throw another wide receiver on this list. Again, you got to be able to separate yourself. 7 snaps only, 1 target, no receptions. A lot of these players you're going to see are just fighting to make a roster spot. Because the Broncos wide receiver room, in my opinion, it's kind of solidified. Can we all agree these 6 are definite locks to make the team? Right? I think this is a pretty good 6. That's just my opinion. So, majority of the wide receivers that are kind of rounding out the depth chart, I don't see them making a whole lot of moves, especially considering every single one of these players. I mean, we don't have to talk about Cortland Sutton. We knew this. But Devon Vele had a catch. We know Marvin Mims is going to be a stud. Pat Bryant played well. Trent Sherfield played outstanding. So the guys that are bottom of the starting wide receivers, like wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, they're making big plays during the preseason. Other guys like Kyrese Rowan are just fighting to get onto the field. So there's tiers to this. There's levels. And I just don't think he gets to that tier. So all 5 of those players feel like easy cut candidates, at least right now. But grade my cut list. I want to know. Specifically give me a grade. If you think they suck, that's fine. Let me know. Give me an F. But tell me why. If you think they're great, shower me with praise. I'm kidding. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section down below. That is going to do it for us on today's episode. A reminder to subscribe and join our watch party on Saturday. Like the video if you haven't already. And as always, Broncos country, be cool.